The story of Angelina Jolie has always been told in big ways. Amazing looks, worldwide fame, helping people around the world, and really tough personal stuff that happened while everyone was watching. But behind the picture of a famous actress and big Hollywood star, there's a deeper story, one shaped by family problems, emotional pain, and always trying to find a place where she felt safe and knew who she was. From her early childhood when her parents split up, to becoming a huge star in Hollywood and later making big personal and health choices, Angelina's life shows both strength and struggle. This retelling looks at those pieces of her life in an organized way, focusing on the real human stuff behind the news stories and what people think of Heard 1, a childhood shaped by someone not being there. Angelina Jolie was born into a Hollywood family as the daughter of actor Jon Voight and actress Marceline Bertrand, but her early years were tough because her parents split up, and she mostly grew up with just her mom. Not having her dad around left a hurt in her heart that stayed with her even as she got older. Her mom worked really hard to keep things stable, often giving up her own dreams to take care of her kids. Growing up in Los Angeles, Angelina saw both the fancy Hollywood life and times when money was tight, noticing how different those two worlds were. These early experiences made her more sensitive, independent, and really good at understanding feelings, and all of that would later shape her life choices and the roles she picked. 2. Tough teenage years and figuring out who she was. When Angelina Jolie was a teenager, she went through some really hard emotional times, like feeling lonely and not good enough. Going to school in Beverly Hills put her around people who cared a lot about how you looked and how popular you were, which made her feel even more like she didn't fit in. She had a hard time feeling good about herself and handling her emotions, and sometimes she dealt with that pain in ways that hurt her, though she later talked about how therapy and healing helped her. Those years were also full of really intense friendships and relationships as she tried to figure out who she was and where she belonged. Even through all that, she started building a strong sense of who she really was. The hard stuff she went through back then helped her understand how real and fragile people's feelings can be. 3. Early acting and looking for a way out. Angelina Jolie started studying acting at the Lee Strasberg Theatre Institute, where performing became a way to let out her feelings and work through them. She wasn't just chasing fame, she was using acting to take all her complicated emotions and put them somewhere real. Little by little, her early roles in movies and TV showed just how intense and special she was on screen. Even though people already knew her because of her famous family, she worked hard to make it on her own in a really tough industry. Those early years weren't just about building a career. They were about changing and growing as she learned how to keep her personal pain separate from her work, building the base for everything she'd later become in Hollywood. 4. Becoming famous and building her public image. As her career kept going, Angelina Jolie became one of the most well-known faces in all of Hollywood, loved for her performances, her unique look, and her powerful presence on screen. Her work in big movies made her a star all over the world. The media paid just as much attention to her personal life as they did to her work, and she became a symbol of a different kind of beauty and strength, one that didn't follow the usual Hollywood rules, but being famous also meant people were always watching, turning her private struggles into public conversations. Even with all that pressure, she kept a strong sense of who she was as an artist and started doing more than just acting, slowly becoming known as both a performer and someone who cared about the world. 5. Relationships and messy feelings. The relationships in Angelina. Jolie's personal life were always closely watched by the media, especially her marriage to actor Brad Pitt. People saw them as one of the most powerful couples in Hollywood, mixing fame, influence, and a shared love of helping others. Together, they raised a big family from many different backgrounds and worked on causes around the world. But behind the public picture, things got complicated over time. Growing apart emotionally outside pressures, and personal differences started to create cracks. Old feelings and unresolved patterns from earlier in life also played a part in how things went. In the end, their relationship showed both real love and really hard challenges, proving that even the most visible couples can have private pain. 6. Health choices and making her own decisions. In a very public moment of standing up for her own health, Angelina Jolie chose to have surgeries to prevent cancer after finding out she had a higher genetic risk of getting it. Her decision included operations that greatly lowered that risk, and she explained everything herself by writing about it publicly. That openness started a worldwide conversation about women's health, genetics, and taking steps to stay healthy, encouraging a lot of people to go get tested and talk to their doctors. Even though many people praised her for it, the decision also came with emotional and physical weight because it meant big permanent changes to her body and how she saw herself. For Angelina, these choices showed her commitment to staying healthy long-term and being in charge of her own life, even when the decisions were really hard and couldn't be undone. 7. Marriage, family life, and the pressure of everyone watching. The marriage of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt was made official after years of being together, and it became one of the most talked about relationships in all of Hollywood. They built a big family and often showed up together for both personal events and causes they cared about. Their shared work included traveling the world and speaking up for important issues, showing they were committed to things bigger than just movies. But staying private got harder and harder with cameras always following them. Over time, personal differences and all that outside pressure started to wear on their relationship. Even though they tried to keep things steady, the marriage eventually hit problems too big to fix, leading to a breakup and a long stretch of legal and emotional hard times. 8. Breaking up. Court battles and everything going public. The split between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt turned into one of the most covered celebrity breakups in recent memory. Reports of a disagreement that happened while they were traveling, and the investigations that followed made everything even more public. Even though the stories were different depending on who you asked in the legal side of things, stayed messy for a long time. Angelina filed for divorce and pushed for a custody plan that turned into a long legal back and forth. The whole situation grew into something much bigger, involving family decisions, keeping things private, and lots of media guessing. As time went on, it stopped being just a celebrity story and became more about the real hard stuff that comes with breaking up in the spotlight, especially when kids and shared life are part of it. 9. Sadness. Looking back and keep moving forward. In more recent years, Angelina Jolie also dealt with the loss of her mom, Marceline Bertrand, which hit her really hard emotionally. That time made her think a lot about family, forgiveness, and long-standing connections, including her complicated relationship with her dad, Jon Voight. Even with everything still going on publicly and legally, she kept doing her humanitarian work and creative projects, staying focused on her kids and the causes she cares about around the world. The way she handled this time in her life shows real toughness in the face of grief and big changes, and a real effort to find meaning and steadiness again while still living her life in the public eye and healing on the inside. The story of Angelina Jolie isn't just one simple story. It's made up of a bunch of connected experiences. A family that broke apart, emotional struggles, growing as an artist, worldwide fame, and big personal changes. Her life shows what it's really like to live with everyone, watching while also dealing with really private and painful things. From her earliest years to the biggest decisions she ever made, she has always been someone people both look up to and look hard at. When it's all said and done, her journey is about bouncing back, getting through loss, change, and starting over while still finding a way to keep going. It's a reminder that even the most famous people in the world have deep, layered, very human stories living just underneath what everyone else gets to see.